There was a fire at a house in our street the other day. That night it was on the news.
Neighbours alerted the fire service and 3 fire...
That's our street! Look, Grandad, that's our street!
It's a good job all the houses next door to it didn't catch fire as well.
Yeah, because if they did, it might have burned our house down.
Don't be stupid, Gary. It wouldn't burn down all the houses in the street.
It mightn't it, Grandad?
Well, that doesn't happen very often these days, thank goodness. We've got such big fire engines and lots of water to put the fire out. But it wasn't always like that. Today you just dial 999 and the fire engine comes as quickly as it can.
Going dee, dee,
Oh,
dee,
Gary!
dee.
But in days gone by, there was no fire service. And there were a lot more fires because the houses were built of wood. And when a lit candle fell over, psst, the house went up in flames in no time at all.
What did people do?
They did their best with buckets of water, but it didn't always work. In fact, a very long time ago, in summer when it was very dry and hot, a fire broke out in London that lasted for 4 days and nights, and nobody could put it out. It burnt down churches, shops, houses, the whole city of London.
The whole city?
Well, almost all. It started in a baker's shop one night when everyone was asleep.
But how do you know?
I know because there was a man alive at the time who kept a diary.
That's what we do at school. And the teacher asked us to write down our news.
And that's exactly what this man did. His name was Samuel Pepys, and he lived about 300 years ago. Would you like me to take you back in time and meet him?
Yes!
Yes, please!
Will we set fire as well?
Yes, you will. Which means you both got to be very good because fires are dangerous things.
We'll be good, Grandad, we promise.
Gary?
Yeah, honest.
All right. Close your eyes. Wish hard while I sing us back into the past. London's burning, London's burning. Fetch buckets, fire, 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 fire. Pour on water, pour on water.
Is that him?
That's him. And look, he's actually writing his diary.
Why is he writing with a feather?
Because everyone did in those days. No biros, no lead pencils. They just sharpened quill feathers and dipped them in the ink.
Well, I see that you've arrived.
Yes, Mr. Pepys. And very glad we are to be here. The children were wondering if you could tell us about the fire of London.
Why, all they need to do is go outside. There's a very big fire raging now.
What? You mean there's a fire outside now? This minute?
Yes. And likely to spread with no rain and these high winds blowing the sparks everywhere. Excuse me. I've just been to see the King today to tell him how bad things are. I must just write down what he said.
What did he say?
Why, he agreed with my plan. To blow up houses in the path of the fire so the fire has nothing to burn. He told me to tell the mayor to do it at once. So naturally, I did.
Does that mean anyone can go and see the King, Grandad?
No. Mr. Pepys is a very important person. He works for the King, King Charles II, and the King knows him quite well.
I can't read his writing, Grandad.
That's because you're not meant to, young lady.
What's he mean, Grandad?
He means his diary is secret. He wrote in special writing so that no one could understand it easily.
He's got very posh clothes.
Oh, yes. He's very keen on his clothes. Spent a lot of money on them.
And why has he got long hair?
Why? 'Tis the fashion. All fine gentlemen dress as I do. You don't like it?
Not much.
I'll have you know this is my best periwig. It cost me a great deal of money.
Did he say it's a wig? Wig.
Sir, Mr. Pepys, sir.
You did not knock, Jane. How many times have I told you to knock?
I'm sorry, sir, but the wind's changed direction, sir. The fire. The wind is blowing the fire this way.
Right. No time to waste. We must pack up the house. We must get everything into carts.
But there's not a cart to be had, sir.
Nonsense. There's always a cart to be had if you pay enough money. These books here, these must be saved. Get the paintings down, pack up the bedclothes. Not you. You can come into the garden and help my servant boy dig a pit. Come, come, follow.
What's the hole for, Grandad?
Well, burying things is a very good way of stopping them from getting burnt. I suppose he's going to bury something very important here.
I expect it's money or jewels.
Well, we should just have to see.
Wine's to go in the pit, Tom.
Yes, ma'am.
Have you brought that cheese out, Jane?
Oh, not yet, sir. I've been loading the bedclothes on the cart, sir.
Go and get it quick. Important papers.
Oh,
Does he mean his diary?
maybe it might mean something to do with his work.
The cheese, sir.
Oh, my parmesan.
I wrapped it in canvas, sir. Hope that keeps the worms from it.
Why is he so worried about a bit of cheese when he thinks his house is going to burn down?
Well, Mr. Pepys is very fond of his food. And this is a very special cheese, Parmesan, from Italy. It costs a lot of money.
Even so.
My dear young woman, there is nothing I can do to save my house. But I can save my papers, my wine, and my cheese. One day this fire will be over. It will be history. And when it is, I will be very pleased to come back here and dig them up.
Grandad, I think Gary's gone off on his own.
Well, he hasn't, has he? Oh, that's done it. What shall I tell you, Mum, if we have to go back to the present without him?
I don't suppose he's gone far. My cloak, Jane! Come, let's go look for him.
It was a bit scary to leave Seething Lane, but we had to look for Gary. We couldn't find Gary anywhere. Grandad was getting really worried, and so was I. Mr. Pepys took us back to his house, just in case Gary had gone back there.
It's not dead, I can feel its heart beating.
Gary! Gary, where have you got to? The fright you gave us all.
Where have you been?
I went out to look at the fire with Tom.
You should have had more sense, taking a child into danger. And what about my books? You're trying to tell me you finished packing? You are a lazy young scoundrel. Get out of my sight.
It wasn't his fault. He came with me to rescue this bird.
It's a pigeon.
Yes, there are many such. They stay too long in the burning buildings, and then their feathers are singed, and they cannot fly.
Poor pigeon.
Poor people. It's not only birds that are dying in this fire.
It's not dead.
No, but it soon will be. It cannot fly.
Why don't you build a nest for it in that corner, Gary?
But a cat may get it there.
The cats have long since run away.
Well, we can't take it into the present.
I don't want to leave it.
Here, young master, I'll take care of it. You'd best be going. It's a safe place for any of us.
She's right, you know. Take my hand and pray that the poor people survive this terrible fire. Come along. Goodbye, Mr. Pepys.
Bye, Klein.
Bye, Tom.
clever person did find out about Mr. Pepys' funny writing, so Grandad could read us bits from a copy of Mr. Pepys' secret diary.
So he really did go and talk to the king. And he really did go back after his house burned down and dig up his trees.
Oh, I don't know about that. But his house wasn't burnt down. No. The fire stopped at the end of the street. But of course Mr. Pepys didn't know that was going to happen. No, he left Seething Lane and spent the last night of the fire at his friend's house. And poor old Mr. Pepys, who hadn't even got a nightshirt, had to spend the night in his drawers.
His drawers?
His underpants.
I wish I could see that.
Well, that might be managed. Just for a minute.
Next day, in Seething Lane, Grandad took us back to the same spot where Mr. Pepys' house used to be. Well, we helped him bury his cheese.
Here we are. This is the place.
It doesn't look like the same place at all.
No, it doesn't. But that's because things change all the time. After London was burnt down, it was rebuilt, of course, and it's been rebuilt quite a few times since. These buildings are quite modern here now.
One day they'll be old, though.
That's right. They will. And we'll be history. And people will wonder what life was like for us.
I wonder where we dug the hole.
It's hard to say. It's all so different.
I still think it was a funny thing to do, to save the cheese.
Well, everyone thinks different things are important, I suppose. What would you try to save if you thought your house was going to burn down?
I don't know. I have to think about that.
Samuel Pepys saw the great fire of London, wrote it down in his diary,